Big win last night by the Clippers over the Celtics. The Celtics were rolling. They just lost to Golden State on the road, and now they lost to the Clippers.
They're going to lose to the Lakers tonight.
Are they going to lose to the Lakers
yes, they
tonight?
Are, Rob.
I think I had to bet shekels on this one. They will about. There's no way the Celtics are going to lose 3 in a row. You know what the spread is?
We'll get into it in Shekel City, I'm sure.
-4. I had to jump on that. But anyway, Kawhi Leonard had a big night. Rob G, you want to?
Yeah, 10 of 12 shooting, couple of threes, 25 points, 9 boards, 6 assists in a 20-point shellacking of the Boston Celtics. It was easily the best game that he's played since he tore his ACL, what was it, like 18 months ago. It's been a slow process for him. But this is something that he said after the game that kind of caught my attention. I want to get your thoughts on it.
Yep.
So they asked him after the game, like, hey, what did it feel like to look like you yourself again? And you look great out there. Your thoughts and the significance of it. Kawhi, quote, I don't want to be here tonight. I'm focusing on the end of the year. Playoff basketball doesn't matter about tonight.
But I took that, okay, Rob G, so I took that as, like, okay, tonight's great, and I'm happy about it, and we won, and we blew them out, but I want to do this come postseason. That, like that's my goal, that's my dream. I didn't take it like, nobody cares about the regular season, I don't want to play in the regular season, just call me up when April starts. Mm-hmm. That's not what I took that, this is good, this is nice, but I want to get there in the postseason. And to me, because he hasn't been able to play in the postseason, obviously, Rob G, he missed the entire year a year ago.
Yep.
And the year before, they went to the Western Conference Finals without him. You remember he got hurt.
Yes, they did, yep.
In the round before that, and still wound up winning that series. I think it was against Utah, am I right?
Yeah, they gave the Suns all they could handle in the Western Conference Finals.
And then they played, right, but they made it to the Western Conference for the first time in franchise history. And then they didn't have their main guy, and they still won it, I think, 6 games with the Suns, I'm thinking.
And that was the alley in the valley play. Remember the out-of-bounds play through a lob to DeAndre Ayton?
They
Otherwise,
had
that could have been a totally different series. Yep.
That was game 1 on the road in Phoenix. Yep. And without that shot, they would have been up 1-0, which would have been incredible. But my point is, if I'm a Clippers fan today, I'm welcoming what I saw because Kawhi, to me, was basically dead, gone, forgotten, pushed to the back burner. And now I looked at him and saying, this guy is viable. If he stays healthy, if Paul George stays healthy, if they can just get to the playoffs, Rob G, they're going to the NBA Finals. They look at their roster, look at their team. They're the best team. Top to bottom, they're loaded. They pick up John Wall in the offseason. Guys like Mann have improved, right?
Terrence Mann, yep.
Terrence Mann, Rob G. He's gotten better. Ty Lue is a fantastic coach. You don't hear me glowing about too many coaches, do you?
Never.
I think Ty Lue.
Rob hates coaches almost as much as he hates black quarterbacks.
Exactly. Almost. You're right about that, but not Ty Lue, who happens to be black too.
That's right.
I'm really. Hasn't he impressed you since he came to LA?
He's a fantastic coach.
He really, really is. And I always remember when he finally decided to bench Patrick Beverly, like that was the changing of the guard.
Right.
So many coaches stick with what they have, what they've, been working with, and that was a change for the Clippers. But anyway, if I'm the Clippers or a Clippers fan, and I saw vintage Kawhi last night against a good team, a really good team in the Celtics, I'm feeling good about the playoffs, and I don't look at his comment as anti-regular season.
Rob, everything that you said in your aftermath was correct. The Clippers on paper easily have the best roster in the NBA. Everything that people love about the Boston Celtics with Tatum and Brown, the Clippers have a more advanced version of that. Okay?
100%.
They have arguably the best coach in basketball in Ty Lue. Former Laker Ty Lue, by the way. However, the first sentence that you had is where I disagree with. Kawhi Leonard said the quiet part out loud for NBA players when he said, quote, I don't want to be here tonight. That to me is the biggest part of the whole sentence. because what Kawhi has shown going back to San Antonio is that he watches a lot of FS1, a lot of ESPN, listens to a lot of The Odd Couple, and all these other shows that tell you rings are the only thing that matters in the NBA. I don't care what James Harden did in the regular season. I don't care what LeBron James does in the regular season. All that matters is, did you win in the playoffs? Did you hoist the trophy or not? And that's where Kawhi Leonard's at in his mental. That's just why he coined the load management term. It's why he decides to play, once every 3 days, if possible. And the problem with that is, even though it's worked out for him in Toronto, in San Antonio, not so much here in LA because the guys got hurt. But the problem with that is, when you don't take the regular season seriously and you're saying you don't want to be here, it's all about the playoffs, is you subconsciously or consciously skip steps. It can't always be about the destination and not the journey. And
I agree the journey's as important. I think when people want to fast forward in life, Rob G, part of it, the sweet success of it is, I talk to a lot of young guys, right? Mentoring and whatnot.
Yep.
You know that. And everybody wants to be a debater on First Take or Undisputed.
Right.
But that's not the road. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a journey. And everybody who's been there has been on this road to get there. And that's what I try to tell these young guys. Enjoy the journey. You don't get your dream job day one.
Right, exactly.
There's a journey that's a part of it that when you finally get there. So I understand what you're saying about that, but I really don't believe he was poo-pooing the regular season. I think he was saying, I've been absent in the postseason the last couple of years, and that's where I want to get. That's what he meant by my focus is the postseason.
Well, he hasn't been present in the regular season either, though, Rob. Is there anybody who takes the regular season less seriously than Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah, but I think that he is hurt. I mean, are you questioning whether he's hurt or not? I think he is hurt. And maybe people have different degrees. Some people, Rob G., can fight through other stuff. Other people, if they don't feel 100%,
they
don't want to go.
And that's
I
who
think
Kawhi
that's
is.
where Kawhi is, right?
Exactly.
Like there's other guys, I'm 75%, but I could play. I'll play. And other guys are like, no. I feel something. I don't want to play.
Right. And that's the gift and the curse in today's NBA is because the NBA regular season and the postseason are almost two different sports. And Kawhi Leonard has always been, at least recently, a guy who's always had an eye on the playoffs. And his comment last night, I know that you disagree with the way I'm interpreting it, but to me, it's why I have a hard time trusting the Clippers this season. Because Ty Lue, Paul George, Kawhi, they've made it very clear over the last 2.5+ seasons that the regular season isn't that important to them. And the problem with that is, and we saw it with the Lakers last year when they got off to a horrendous start, and they kept saying, wait till we get to the playoffs, we're going to cause damage. We're going to get to the finals. And they didn't get there. And the reason was, when you got to the end of the season, when it was getting tight and everybody had to play their best basketball just to get into the playoffs, they didn't have the winning habits that you need. And I'm worried about the Clippers. I'm sure they're going to get into the postseason, but when you get there and you're facing teams that have been playing a certain style of basketball, they weren't always relying on talent and coaching because they had chemistry, which is what the Warriors have, teams like that, that's where I don't trust the Clippers in that situation unless they start taking the regular season more seriously.